Okay, I have been playing an unhealthy amount of Marvel Rivals. I've been a long time comic book fan and fan of the Marvel's universe. Some of the newer stuff not included in that, but a lot of the older stuff and a lot of the older characters and stuff. So I wanted to react to this video that was recently posted that is about a wish list of Marvel characters that I'd like to see added to Marvel Rivals, kind of give my input on the characters and which ones I think would actually make sense to put into the game and which ones just don't make sense to put in the game. Kind of skip the intro on this one. Video is a little bit long, and I want to try to keep it under 30 minutes for Rumble. So let's dive in and see what this guy is talking about with these new characters he would like to see in Marvel Rivals.
Let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, guys, so to kick things off on all the characters that I want to see in Rivals, we start with one that I think is inevitable, and that is
Daredevil.
Matthew Murdock, Daredevil. I think it's only a matter of time.
I would definitely like to see Daredevil in the game. He would be a fun alternate, I think, to maybe Spider-Man, maybe less divey, but I feel like he kind of would fit that same, like, I don't know, not necessarily same play style, but same fast pace kind of vibe you would get with somebody like Spider-Man. It would be interesting to be playing a character in a video game like this who is blind. Like, how would they alter the visuals for the player in that aspect? I think this would be a really interesting one.
Time until we see this guy come into the game. And here's the thing, guys. First of all, I'm not a game dev, so I'm not exactly going to be perfect with some of my envisioning of the character, if you will. And I don't want anything that we kind of already have within the game. But I think with all that being said, Daredevil, it can be his own thing. I think it'd be really cool to kind of focus on him being able to see through walls. Obviously, this is a strong
yeah, see through walls. I like the idea of him having an alternate way of seeing in the game, but like through walls, I don't know about that one.
Concept. Maybe it can, be stopped with combat or anything like that. But this guy's kit kind of like writes itself, right? He's got the batons that he can use for combat, bouncing off things. He can use the kind of probably like Moon Knight to get around the map with his mobility. Definitely something like a double jump. And his whole shtick, right, is about this kind of chrono vision to be able to see through walls, through objects, and maybe even ping and let your allies see the enemies as well. I don't know. All I know is it'd be very cool to have some version of Daredevil. The concept design is just too cool, man, just to see him in the rival style. Plus, the show's coming out, which I am pumped for. If you haven't seen Daredevil, the show, you don't even need to be a Marvel fan. It's a banger. All right, moving on to the next hero. There are a couple people.
Now, I like the Marvel TV or the Daredevil TV show. I definitely would be down to watch some more of that. Now, I do like the idea of him having some sort of hook mechanics, like the grappling hook from Moon Knight. I think that would be good. I don't know, definitely not the glide mechanic, but I think the game is lacking. There's some heroes that I think should have the ability to like wall ride, or wall run or run up walls that just don't, like Psylocke. I think she should have the ability to like run on walls and stuff. I mean, she's a ninja, for crying out loud. I don't think Daredevil would fit that, but I think giving him a grappling hook would be a good play. I think what we're going to do with this one, this is actually going to take a while because I'm going to have a lot of thoughts on these heroes. We're probably going to do this in a two-parter.
Here that I have no idea how they're going to implement them into the game, but all I know is we have to have them. And that leads me to Taskmaster. Taskmaster
I have no idea how he is going to come up with any idea to put this character into the game. Like, if you know Taskmaster from the comic books, his kit for Marvel Rivals would be absolutely stupid. There is no good way to put that guy into Marvel Rivals. I am sorry.
In this freaking game would be epic. And I don't know, like, I've seen people come up with ideas like you spawn into the game with a bunch of random abilities of the enemy's team. I think that's kind of funny. Obviously very clunky to play. What I thought was really cool was an idea that if he killed a tank, he would get a tank passive and get like a bigger health bar. If he killed a healer, he'd be able to get abilities that would help him heal his allies. And then if he killed a DPS, he'd be in like damage mode with his ultimate being able to focus. And
how about no Taskmaster? No, thank you. Maybe later on down the road. We do not need Taskmaster in Rivals anytime soon. Thank you very much.
like make one of those modes like that much better, and it really just kind of speaks to his kit. He also just has like he could have like a basic ability of like a good sword and shield move with some mobility that he would go in and out of, and then he could copy kits. Loki's ultimate obviously already does this, but I think to do this on more of an ability level would be a cool design for Taskmaster. Definitely see him as a Vanguard. To me, that's what fits Taskmaster's design. They've made him work in other Marvel games, so they surely have to make it in Rivals. And I just got to give.
In other Marvel games, yes. Not in Marvel games with 50 bajillion heroes. No. No Taskmaster. Thank you. No. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't see any good way that we have Taskmaster in Marvel Rivals. He'll be a throw pick for a long time if that's the case.
Give credit to the art here. The design on this, all the
good
art, by the
though.
way, the credit is in the description.
Definitely
the
good art.
design on this made me want him that much more. Okay, next one, another Vanguard, guys.
I want this one.
And I was picking between Colossus.
This is better. This has got to be
and
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut. And I'm gonna go with Juggernaut. We could use them.
Can we all agree that we will all be very disappointed if they put Juggernaut in Marvel Rivals and they decide not to include the line, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch"? Can we all agree on that? We need to make an exception for this character if he's in the game, that he can cuss at least once for that line. If your account's too young to hear that word, then, censor it. But for everybody else, we all want to hear the line.
Both. But the idea of Juggernaut in
Clearly a Vanguard. He would have to be a Vanguard. He is a character I would really like to see in Rivals, and I think he fits the aesthetic and the style of Rivals anyways. He can be... There's so many skin options for him and stuff, and he's just a big brawler dude. I think his kit would overlay a lot with the things, though, unfortunately. That's my problem with him. I think his kit would ultimately kind of be a lot like the things.
Rivals is peak. Now, obviously, nothing could stop.
When at full speed, lunge forward, striking. Yeah, that sounds like slowly build up momentum. See, I like that. I don't know about the tight grip. That's a cool idea. The shockwave. Yeah, see, it seems like his kit would be a lot like the kit for the thing. I'd be okay with that. He could be a really easy Vanguard. Let's make him a low skill Vanguard. We could use a couple more lower skill Vanguards. Make his kit one of those ones where he's good out of the gate, but when you master him, he's even better.
The Juggernaut, if you know him. And so my idea for him is this character that can just plow through destructible environments. Anything he goes through just gets wrecked, right? But at the same time, like Groot walls, obviously he can't be stopped. So just going through all of those and just being the destruct.
See, I like that idea. Make him a hard counter for Groot. Just run down them walls. Yeah, okay. I'm in. I'm sold.
Of that, and that's kind of his role for the team. Probably OP, but I was thinking that even maybe he can stop other people that are typically CC immune, like Luna in her ult or Punisher.
I don't know how I feel about that. Like, being able to stop somebody that's unstoppable by being an unstoppable force. I like the idea. But do I like the idea? I don't know. That could be really good. That might be a little too good, though.
Things like that. I mean, nothing can stop the guy. He's charging them. Maybe he gets, health as he charges through multiple people. And I can see him having like a Reinhardt pin, if you guys played Overwatch, and being able to pin people down and just being this massive Vanguard
Reinhardt style pin makes a lot of sense.
force. We need Juggernaut. It's not a matter of time before we get him eventually. He's got to come. And I just see him fitting in a cool role for Rivals and maybe having a different effect of destructible environment, giving your team an alternate path or whatever it might be. And of course, for the ultimate voice line.
I'm the Juggernaut!
All right, so we take things to a
See? Even he agrees with me. We need that line. Without that line, he's just not the Juggernaut.
strategist now, and I don't really know how to do this one. But Kitty Pryde, right? Kitty
See, I would like to see Kitty Pryde in the game, but she's also one of those ones where I'm like questioning whether or not, like, where she would fit into the game, because she would need to be able to move through walls more than just destructible walls. She'd have to move through walls. Otherwise, what's the point of having Kitty Pryde? That's where I'm kind of like, I don't know about her. I'm not sure like how she would work in the game.
Pryde being a strategist in this game, obviously with Lockheed being a part of her kit as well. You're going to hear me talk about phasing in a couple of kits today, and I think that Kitty Pryde kind of leads that, being able to maybe go through walls, right? Like, you know, you don't have to run around to the point. You can simply go through the wall to get to your point to heal them up, and then giving that ability to duelists or tanks to have them be able to escape or whatever that might be. Maybe your ultimate allows everybody to do that. The idea of her phasing in and out seems really cool, and maybe...
See, I like the idea of her being able to like phase somebody else out, maybe not to phase them through a wall. But like being able to run up and like tap the tank, and now the tank can't take damage, but on the other hand, the tank can also not do damage. Or you can touch the other strategist and now they can't do damage, but maybe they could still heal. A friendly stun, maybe? I don't know. A friendly exile. Sort of. I think support would be the right role for her, though, for sure. Definitely support for her.
having like just really good mobility, right? Being able to like do double, triple jumps and just a highly mobile strategist sounds pretty sick to me. The DPS can be used through Lockheed or just having some combos herself. You know, maybe she uses some type of melee, or maybe she's just more focused on the healing aspect and keeping her team kind of alive through it all. Kind of like Storm does a little bit, like these AoE buffs that she could do. All I know is Kitty Pryde is definitely a X-Men not talked about enough, and I would love to see her in Rivals. All right, so Duelists. There's a lot to choose from, guys. There's a lot of Duelists to choose from, but I have to talk about Yondu. Guys, can you imagine Yondu in Rivals? First of all, you know the design would go so hard. Second of all, the developers, good luck on the design. I have no idea how you would make him fair. I don't want another, like...
I don't think he'd be that interesting of a character, honestly.
Auto-aim character, but the idea of being able to use his arrow whistling in and out through enemies is too cool to pass up. And
I think that would have to be like his ultimate. Just have an arrow that just flies around doing minor damage in an AoE or something like that. Like, I don't know. He just doesn't seem all that interesting as a character for the game.
like maybe his ultimate, you can control it like a drone and it does like, you know, I don't know, enhanced damage. He can use it to jump and to move around. I don't know how they would nail the movement of the arrow. Obviously, he can kind of glide, and he has that little bit. The voice lines, the team up with Star-Lord. I mean, it's practically writing itself. All right, so next up, Duelist. We've got Vision. And I think I'm going to go with...
See, I would like to see Vision. Although, I guess Duelist would make sense for him. I don't know. I would like to see Vision in the game. I think Vision would be a cool character, but I don't want another flying duelist. We don't need a whole bunch more flyers right now. We need more anti-fly in the game before they start adding more flying characters.
Duelist, although I like the idea of him having like a stance change. Not a lot of people talk about Vision. Very melee focused. He could be super fast flight, right? Maybe he has a speed form. But also the guy could be a Vanguard or at least have a form like Wolverine does, where, you know, he's just taking on a lot more damage, a bit more indestructible kind of. And then, of course, like, if he wants to go all out, uses...
He definitely should be a Vanguard. He should be a Vanguard, not a Duelist. I'm sorry. He is a Superman-esque character. He should not be a Duelist.
Beam, and maybe the longer you have his beam on somebody, the more damage it does. There's some cool stuff he can do. He also can phase through things, as we've seen through the movies and comics, so maybe... having a brief form of that where he can't, be healed, attack, or anything like that, or contribute, but he can kind of go in and out and have good mobility. Vision, Wanda clearly would have a team up. Vision, and I'm sure actually a couple people would have a team up, which would work well with the game. More flyers added, which I think he works well, and then the form switching idea or the stance switch, I think is gonna we're gonna have kits like that come to Rivals. All right.
I think his kit would end up being a lot kind of like Emma's, but flying, like a flying Emma, maybe something kind of like that, but definitely as a Vanguard. We're gonna go ahead and call it there for this video, though. I want to try to keep these videos a little bit shorter. I'm gonna go ahead and record the other half of this video if you guys want to see that. That video is going to be going up momentarily. It will be going up a little while after the first part of this video reacting to these hero ideas. We'll go ahead and do the other half of this in the next video, and that will be over on Rumble first, and then it will be going over to YouTube, and I'll leave a link to this guy's video in the comment section down below so you guys can check it out if you guys want to leave some feedback on his video. And let me know what you guys thought about these heroes. For me, I would like to see Daredevil, Juggernaut, maybe Kitty Pryde, and Vision. Yondu and Taskmaster, I don't know. Yondu seems too boring, too anticlimactic for me. And Taskmaster is just, to get Taskmaster in the game, I don't think it would do justice. I really just don't think it would do justice to Taskmaster to put him in the game. Well, at least not right now. Maybe down the road or something, but I don't see Taskmaster being a good fit for Rivals in its current state. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below, and we'll tackle the other half of this video here in a minute, just to keep the videos a little bit shorter,